A powerful feature of the Northern Peak District is the Millstone Grit Escarpment, stretching on and off for more than 10 miles. The slabs making up these edges, as they are called, are well known to climbers throughout Britain. The best for both learning and testing skills is Stanage Edge, providing routes from the simplest to the most severe. This walk along Froggatt and Curbar edges puts you in touch with the thrill of the rock climber without actually doing it. Our route starts in the village of Curbar and heads north along the valley floor, shown on the left, with the River Derwent for 4.5 miles. This section alone is several walks in one. The path turns back up through woods to a famous cafe and up again to join the ridge, shown on the right. An exhilarating, airy but easy path leading down to the road above Curbar. If arriving by car, pull in off the A623 at the southern end of the village by the Derbyshire Craft Centre and park over the bridge near the church and school. Back across the bridge, it's well worth a look in the craft centre before setting off, a kaleidoscope of colour as prelude to the haven of the riverbank. Our walkers are Carl and Amanda. Turn in beside the nearby newsagent and follow the lane to the campsite. Skirting the edge to the kissing gate at the far side. So within a few minutes, the first landscape of the valley route unfolds, 1,000,000 miles from the road. Already above you, dominating this peaceful scene, there is the edge, your return route, a very different landscape. At the far end of the pasture, the path enters woodland bordering the riverbank. But only glimpses of the river are seen before you come to the first road. Go straight across and squeeze onto the next stage of the path. It's only now that the tranquil River Derwent emerges from the shadow of the trees. Here, it's a more lush kind of wood, changing character every few moments. Here it's a true sylvan scene, the bewitching nature of it all working its magic. But as the river path approaches another bridge, you're about to cross over into your second landscape. From the bridge, turn left and walk through Froggatt village. You can't see the edge from here, but you can see some pretty houses. Stay north onto Spooner Lane and head for the country path beyond. A paved packhorse track appears and disappears for a mile or so, like an old friend. As the route opens up, there's a real rural spring in your step. The only interruption, this short diversion, half right to the next field. Froggatt Wood, Walk 3 if you're counting, is the focus of much path repair work by the National Trust. Weaving in and out, it's typical of the whole walk, a contrast of greenery and boulders. It brings you, almost reluctantly, to the final field stretch up to the next village, Grindleford. Prepare to hit civilization, a busy road. Turn right. And in 100 yards, by the tree-shaded churchyard, cross to enter a field track, which goes all the way to Hathersage. This is a fine, beautiful pasture, meandering with the river over to your left and always with much of interest. After half a mile, over a flat concrete bridge, turn left to join the riverbank, still going north. This stretch of river is very different from the wooded section earlier, and just as popular almost all year round. Finally, this riverside reverie, still with the ridge beyond, leads to the Longshore estate. Only a quarter of a mile in, look out for a track doubling back uphill. This is the beginning of a long, gentle climb southeast, ending eventually with the ridge. Watch for the sign which turns you left. Up a sudden steep section to a bridge, this time across a railway line. This is the main link between Sheffield and Manchester, a good way to reach this corner of the national park. Turn east for a couple of 100 yards through heathland, to join up with the main track south down to Padley Chapel. This restored 14th century building, used as a hayloft for centuries, is all that remains of the Longshore Estate Manor House. On past the entrance to Strange Padley Gorge, well worth another walk, and down to a man-made milestone, Grindleford Station Cafe. A rendezvous for walkers and climbers for decades, it is open virtually year-round for anything from a cheese sandwich to a jam roly-poly. Refreshed, and a walk turns up beside the cafe for a short distance to the road above. Turn right for 50 yards and cross to go up the lane left. Beware the same busy road again. In another 350 yards, follow the second fingerpost left up a gravel track between houses, and continue steadily southeast, through pretty hay wood, ignoring all side paths. Suddenly you have gained height, and there is a hint of glorious views to come. At the top, turn right by the car park, and drop out of the wood to cross an idyllic stream, a perfect place for a break if you wish. A brief climb up to the road. Right, and in 100 yards or so, cross to the track which leads out onto the climax of the walk, Froggatt Edge. The path is plain, following the edge in a southerly sweep for 3 miles. All you have to do is revel in it, look for the climbers, and sunbathe on the rocks. It's a walk for high flyers, all right. And you can gauge your progress, however slow, by the valley features far below, including the campsite where you started. Towards the end of the ridge, it matters not which path you take. They come up to the same point. Now, at the top of this small mound, there's a perfect view of the next stage of the Gritstone Edge above the village of Baslow. And if it's time for you to go home, drop down to the gate near the car park. There is one at each end of the ridge. Take the right-hand track. At the road, turn right, down towards Carver. But if you want to extend the walk for more of this drama, and why not, here is the route laid out clearly for you by the wall of Baslow Edge. It soon passes the great Eaglestone, and bears left towards the Wellington Monument, erected in memory of the Iron Duke. Retrace your steps for a short while, with a view to Chatsworth on the left, dropping down southwest for half a mile to a well hidden on the right. 10 yards on, turn in right and follow the field path beneath the edge for nearly a mile. Enter the rougher ground without disturbing the docile residents, and any path now leads down towards the road. But you'll still be in no hurry to leave this lovely place, with memories of a truly rural and yet exciting walk. A classic all the way, with the only hitch coming as you look for the quick way home.